Digital blue, screen time and hidden health risks. Find a comfortable, upright position or recline with good support. Let your shoulders relax, your jaw soften, and your breath flow gently, in and out. Tonight we're going to explore a hidden effect of our modern habits, how blue light, exposure from screens after sunset quietly reshapes your body's internal clock and long-term health in ways you might never expect. We all know that scrolling or streaming before bed can make it hard to fall asleep, but research shows that the consequences extend far beyond a restless night. In a large landmark study from the UK Biobank Project, over 84,000 volunteers wore light sensors for a week. The analysis revealed that for every 10 lux increase in nighttime light, about the glow of a bedside smartphone or tablet, the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life rose by 30%. That is no small effect. It highlights how evening light can trick the body's clock into staying in daytime mode and disrupt metabolic processes. Here's how it works. Deep in the brain sits the suprachiasmatic nucleus, our master circadian clock. In ancestral times, this clock synchronized with the natural cycle of sunrise and sunset. As dusk fell and darkness settled, the pineal gland began releasing melatonin, the hormone that not only signals sleep but also helps regulate insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. When bright blue-rich light floods the eyes in the evening, from LEDs, TVs, laptops, and phones, it suppresses melatonin production. Over repeated nights, this suppression shifts our internal timing later, delaying the cascade of nighttime biology and weakening our ability to process sugar efficiently. Imagine your body as a piece of precision machinery. Each part is designed to operate at specific times. Daytime is for alertness, energy production, digestion, and physical activity. Nighttime is for repair, restoration, and resetting. When we shine bright blue light into that nighttime window, it's like running the machinery on the wrong schedule. Gears slip, belts stretch, and efficiency declines over time. Studies show that as little as 2 hours of evening blue light exposure can delay circadian phase by more than an hour. That means if you sit under bright screens from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., you might push back your internal sleep time to midnight or later, and your body misses out on crucial repair work during deep sleep. Deep sleep is when growth hormone is released, wounds heal, immune function rebounds, and glucose handling systems reset. Chronic reduction in deep sleep leads to insulin resistance, weight gain, and a higher risk of diabetes. But the story doesn't end in gloom. The same research underscores the resiliency of our circadian system. Just as evening light can delay the clock, morning light can advance it. Natural daylight, especially within the first hour after waking, provides the strongest signal to reset the clock each day. One study found that 30 minutes of bright morning light improved sleep onset times, shifted sleep phases earlier, and enhanced next-day alertness for most participants. The practical takeaway: embrace bright light in the morning and dim light in the evening. Start your day by exposing yourself to sunlight or a high-lux artificial light source. Step outside during breakfast, walk the dog, or fill your workspace with daylight. Aim for at least 20 to 30 minutes of bright light within an hour of waking to send a clear message to your master clock that daytime has begun. As evening approaches, switch to warm, dim lighting. Replace cool, white LED bulbs with amber or red-tinted bulbs. Activate night shift or blue light reduction modes on all screens. Lower screen brightness to a level that is just comfortable. If you must use screens, consider blue blocking glasses, which filter wavelengths most effective at suppressing melatonin. All these small tweaks help ensure melatonin onset is not needlessly delayed, protecting both sleep quality and metabolic health. While you listen to this ambient track, warm pads, soft subsine, gentle filtered noise, Allow the soundscape to mirror the evening environment your biology prefers. Notice the lack of sudden spikes or harsh transients. Let the continuous, soothing texture guide your breathing to a slower, deeper pace. As your body absorbs this calm acoustic space, it receives the same message as dim lighting. It's time to wind down and repair. To reinforce these habits, consider a brief ritual each evening. 30 minutes before your intended bedtime, dim all overhead lights and switch to a single small lamp. Put devices on night mode and reduce brightness. Use that time to read a physical book, journal, or practice gentle stretching. Signal your nervous system that the day is ending. On the morning side, craft a matching ritual. Open curtains wide as soon as you wake, or turn on a bright lamp while you sip coffee. If possible, step outside for a short walk or simply stand at a sunny window. These repeated signals, bright dawn, dim dusk, train your clock to run on a healthy 24-hour cycle, improving sleep, mood, energy, and even long-term metabolic resilience. Remember, modern life will always involve screens and artificial lighting. The goal is not avoidance, but alignment, working with your biology instead of against it. Bright morning light anchors your day. Dim, warm evening light protects your night. Over time, you will notice easier sleep onset, deeper rest, steadier energy throughout the day, and better regulation of blood sugar and hormones. As this segment comes to a close, take one more deep breath. Allow the warmth of the audio cushion to settle around you. Visualize the lights in your room going gently lower, the screen glow fading, and your internal clock finding its natural rhythm. Carry these practices with you, morning brightness, evening dimness, to guide your days and nights toward health and clarity. Morning light sync, why dawn matters for your body clock. Find a comfortable seat near a window, or close your eyes and imagine the first rays of daylight touching your face. Allow your posture to soften and take a gentle breath in and out. This segment explores how morning light acts as a master reset for your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, and why a simple sunrise ritual can transform your sleep, mood, and performance. In every human brain resides a tiny structure called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, often called the master clock. This clock evolved to track the cycle of sunrise and sunset, signaling downstream systems when to ramp up energy and when to prepare for rest. Modern schedules and electric lighting have disrupted this ancient synchrony. Yet decades of research reveal a powerful antidote: strategic exposure to bright light in the early morning. Landmark experiments on circadian biology have shown that the human clock runs on a cycle slightly longer than 24 hours, on average about 24 hours and 12 minutes. Without consistent external cues, our internal day drifts later each night, leading to later bedtimes, fragmented sleep, and groggy mornings. Morning light provides the strongest time cue, known as a Zeitgeber, that advances your clock and anchors it to the solar day. One 2014 study exposed volunteers to bright light at different times and measured shifts in their circadian phase. Participants who received 30 minutes of high-intensity light, over 2,500 lux, within the first hour after waking experienced phase advances of nearly 45 minutes on average. That means they felt sleepy earlier that night and woke naturally with more energy. Even lower intensity indoor light of 500 lux, equivalent to a brightly lit office, provided clear benefits when timed correctly. Complementary field research confirms the lab findings. In a 2024 epidemiological study involving thousands of office workers, those who spent at least 20 minutes outdoors within 90 minutes of waking reported significantly better sleep quality and mood. They fell asleep faster, slept more deeply, and reported less daytime fatigue compared to colleagues who remained indoors under artificial lighting during their morning routines. Why does morning light have such an outsized effect? The answer lies in specialized photoreceptors in the retina called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, or IPRGCs. These cells contain melanopsin, a pigment most sensitive to blue wavelengths around 480 nanometers. When morning sunlight, rich in blue light, strikes these cells, it sends a direct signal to the SCN, telling it, "Reset now. Today has begun." That signal cascades. Cortisol levels rise steadily in the early morning, peaking about 30-45 minutes after waking, fueling alertness and cognitive function. Core body temperature also begins its upward curve, digestion gears up, and melatonin production is suppressed until evening. If you're a shift worker or a night owl trying to adapt to a conventional schedule, morning light is your most powerful tool. Specially calibrated light boxes emitting 10,000 lux are often prescribed for bright light therapy, but these devices aren't strictly necessary for most people. Natural outdoor light on a clear day can exceed 50,000 lux, making a short walk or coffee by a bright window even more effective than many clinical interventions. In practice, a simple routine can yield big results. Aim to spend 20-30 minutes outside or beside a brightly lit window within the first hour of waking. If outdoor time isn't feasible, rainy days or early shifts, place a full spectrum or daylight mimicking lamp about 2 feet away, set to its highest comfortable setting. Avoid sunglasses or tinted windows during this period, as any reduction in light intensity blunts the signal to the SCN. Beyond timing, consistency matters. Research shows that irregular morning light exposure, bright one day, dim the next, leads to jet lag-like effects on your circadian rhythm. Your clock needs repeated, predictable cues to maintain alignment. That means turning your morning light habit into a non-negotiable ritual. Whether it's a 10-minute stretch routine by the window, a brisk walk around the block, or a breakfast spot illuminated by the sun. Morning light also interacts with other lifestyle factors to strengthen your rhythm. Regular meal timing, consistent sleep windows, and moderate daytime exercise all provide secondary time cues that reinforce the master signal from light. When combined, these habits create a robust framework for a stable 24-hour cycle that resists drift. The benefits of a well-anchored clock extend far beyond sleep. Studies link strong circadian alignment to improved mood regulation, reduced risk of depression, and enhanced cognitive performance. Seasonal affective disorder, winter depression, often responds dramatically to light therapy, underscoring the mood-stabilizing power of bright mornings. Even metabolic health ties back to circadian timing. Animal models and human trials demonstrate that misaligned rhythms impair glucose metabolism and increase obesity risk. By contrast, proper morning light exposure helps coordinate insulin release and appetite-regulating hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Now, as you listen to this ambient music, with its slowly rising textures, gentle brightness in the upper frequencies, and spacious stereo field, imagine the sensation of dawn expanding across your neural landscape. Inhale to acknowledge the awakening signal. Exhale to release any leftover grogginess. Let the auditory cues mirror the visual clarity that morning light provides. To integrate morning light into your life, schedule it. Block a daily appointment with sunlight. Treat it like a meeting you can't miss. Optimize your environment. Position your workspace or breakfast table by the brightest window you have. Supplement if needed. Use a quality light therapy lamp set to 10,000 lux for at least 20 minutes if natural light is insufficient. Avoid blocking cues. Skip sunglasses during your morning light session and keep blinds open. Layer habits. Pair your light exposure with stretching, journaling, or planning your day to reinforce the ritual. Over days and weeks, you'll notice yourself feeling more alert in the morning, falling asleep more easily at night, and enjoying a steadier mood throughout the day. Tasks that once felt taxing become more approachable, and creative insights flow more freely when your internal timing is properly aligned. As this segment ends, take one final, full breath. Picture the sun rising, filling your day with clarity and purpose. Commit to meeting the morning light tomorrow with intention. Your circadian rhythm is listening, and with a little practice, it will reward you with better sleep, sharper mind, and a life more in tune with the natural world. Office soundscape, designing acoustic comfort for focus. Find a quiet moment, sit comfortably with your feet flat on the floor, and allow your spine to rest upright, yet relaxed. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, let your shoulders drop. This segment explores a breakthrough in workplace wellness. Adaptive sound masking and its remarkable power to transform open-plan offices and even home workspaces into zones of calm focus. Modern offices often favor open floor plans to boost collaboration and natural light, yet the unintended side effect is a cacophony of overlapping conversations, ringing phones, and the hum of equipment. Your brain, wired by evolution to detect and localize sounds for survival, tirelessly filters every spoken word, cough, and click. This constant monitoring consumes mental energy that could otherwise drive creative thinking and deep concentration. Enter adaptive sound masking, a technology that strategically adds background noise to blur unwanted sounds without demanding attention. Early masking systems emitted a constant broadband hiss, often likened to air conditioning or distant waterfall noise. While helpful, these static systems sometimes felt too loud or too soft, as office noise levels shifted. Adaptive models improve on this by using real-time monitoring. When ambient noise rises, the masking volume automatically increases. When noise falls, masking decreases. A landmark study from Eindhoven University of Technology implemented such a system in a busy open-plan office and measured employee responses over 8 weeks. Participants reported a 40% reduction in perceived distraction and significant drops in stress and fatigue levels. Many said they no longer felt the need to wear headphones constantly, freeing them to engage more naturally with colleagues. The secret lies in the characteristics of effective masking sound. Research shows that low-intensity, pseudo-random noise with energy spread across mid and high frequencies masks speech frequencies, around 1,000–4,000 Hz, most efficiently. Paradoxically, nature sounds like waterfalls or rain. Though pleasant at first, draw attention over time because they carry recognizable patterns. Steady, low-contrast noise that lacks distinct cycles works best, allowing the brain to stop searching for meaningful signals. From a cognitive standpoint, this masking reduces what psychologists call cognitive load, the mental effort required to process sensory information. By shrinking the acoustic load, your brain reallocates resources to primary tasks, whether drafting a report, analyzing data, or brainstorming ideas. Studies using functional MRI reveal that areas associated with attention and executive control show more efficient activation patterns when background noise is masked effectively. Employees describe a sense of auditory ease, where sounds recede into the periphery instead of demanding continuous filtering. For remote workers and home offices, the same principles apply. Instead of enduring household noises, children playing, kitchen appliances, neighborhood traffic, introduce a masking layer via well-designed ambient tracks or dedicated masking devices. The goal is not silence, which can heighten awareness of every creak and beep, but a predictable acoustic environment that feels natural and unobtrusive. In practice, creating your own adaptive masking setup can be as simple as selecting a high-quality pink or speech-shaped noise track and playing it at a low but steady volume. Ensure the speaker is placed centrally to distribute sound evenly. For more advanced setups, software-based systems use your computer's microphone to gauge room noise and adjust masking levels dynamically. Beyond technology, office design tweaks can amplify results. Strategic placement of acoustic panels, rugs, and upholstered furniture absorbs excess reverberation, delivering a clearer masking baseline. Ceiling baffles and desk dividers with sound-absorbing surfaces reduce direct sound travel. These architectural elements complement masking, shaping a cohesive acoustic ecosystem. Let's consider a real-world example. A marketing agency that struggled with client calls echoing across its open floor plan. They installed adaptive masking speakers in 6 zones and added fabric-wrapped panels between desk clusters. Within 2 weeks, staff reported a 50% drop in distraction-related errors and a noticeable uptick in collaborative mood. Because they no longer needed to isolate themselves with headphones, spontaneous discussions felt more natural and less intrusive. Now, as you listen to this ambient track, soft pads interwoven with filtered noise, you're experiencing a sound design prototype. Notice how the background provides a gentle static that underlies every nuance, ensuring no single sound leaps forward unexpectedly. Allow your mind to settle into this acoustic cushion. Use it as a tool to focus on the content of your thoughts rather than the interruptions around you. If you're in a traditional office, advocate for trialing adaptive masking pilot programs. Many facilities teams find that employees report higher satisfaction and reduced stress, justifying the modest investment in masking hardware and acoustic treatments. For home offices, integrate masking into your daily routine. Start your workday by playing a masking track at low volume, and maintain that ambient layer throughout focused work sessions. Remember, the aim isn't to create a soundproof capsule, but a balanced acoustic environment where mental energy stays directed toward tasks that matter. When the brain knows masking is in place, it stops scanning for distracting speech and noises. That cognitive relief feels subtle yet profound, like breathing easier in clean air. In closing, consider your own workspace. Notice the sounds that intrude: muffled conversations, printer hums, or street noise. Imagine a steady masking layer smoothing those peaks into a soft horizon. Picture your attention freed from background surveillance, flowing instead into creative insights and deep focus. Use this segment as a guide for creating acoustic comfort. Understand the science of masking, apply practical solutions, and embrace the transformational impact on privacy, productivity, and well-being. Let the gentle rise and fall of this ambient track remind you that focus thrives in environments where sensory demands remain steady and kind to the mind. Nature Reconnect, restoring the lost benefits of the outdoors. Find a comfortable seat or lie down with your spine supported and your eyes gently closed. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold for a moment, then exhale slowly. Let your body settle into a state of receptive calm. This segment explores nature deficit, the growing disconnection from outdoor environments, and how intentional audio reconnection can reclaim essential benefits for your mind and body. Modern life often unfolds indoors. Offices, homes, cars, and digital spaces claim over 90% of our waking hours. While climate control and technology provide comfort and productivity, they also replace sensory inputs our brains evolved to expect. Researchers describe this phenomenon as nature deficit, linking it to increased stress, attention fatigue, sleep disturbances, and mood disorders. Yet despite living in urban centers, we can tap into nature's restorative power by thoughtfully reintroducing key elements through sound. At the heart of nature's benefit is what environmental psychologists call soft fascination. Unlike demanding mental tasks, Soft fascination involves gentle, undirected attention, watching leaves flutter, listening to distant waves, or noticing bird calls. These stimuli engage the mind just enough to prevent boredom, but not enough to cause focused effort, allowing directed attention to rest and recover. A 2021 meta-analysis published in PNAS synthesized over 50 studies and found that exposure to natural sounds, water flowing, wind rustling leaves, rain, led to consistent reductions in stress markers like cortisol and heart rate, while improving positive affect and cognitive performance post-exposure. In particular, water sounds produced the largest average effect on mood and stress relief, followed by wind and birdsong. These findings mirror classic work by Roger Ulrich in the 1980s, showing faster post-operative recovery in hospital patients exposed to nature imagery and sounds compared to those exposed to urban settings. In busy urban settings, real nature access may be limited. City dwellers often lack green spaces within walking distance or cannot easily leave work for leafy parks. Here, auditory micro-interventions, short audio sessions that simulate key nature elements, offer a scalable solution. By listening to carefully designed nature ambience for even 5 to 10 minutes, individuals can spark the same soft fascination, response, and kickstart physiological recovery. This audio track employs organic pads to evoke the warmth of sunlight filtering through canopy and gentle breeze sounds stitched with subtle bird calls to imitate a forest edge at dawn. As you listen, notice how the texture feels alive yet balanced, never sudden or jarring. Let the complexity remain low, with each layer blending seamlessly, so your mind can soften its grip on active thought. Implementing nature reconnection in daily life can be straightforward. Schedule brief sound breaks, where you press play on a nature ambient and simply observe. Keep earbuds or a speaker handy at your desk or during commutes. Research shows that even incidental exposures, like listening to ocean waves during a taxi ride, reduce perceived stress and improve mood evaluations afterward. Beyond audio, combining brief outdoor moments solidifies benefits. A lunchtime walk under trees, time spent near a water fountain, or tending to houseplants extends the effect. Studies indicate that green window views from offices can measurably reduce stress and increase job satisfaction. In a field experiment, employees whose desks were near potted plants reported lower fatigue and better concentration than those without greenery. Returning to sound alone, note that high-fidelity recordings or well-engineered synth pads can fill environmental gaps. Key acoustic features include variable water flow for unpredictability, low-level wind layers for spatial depth, and restrained wildlife cues to prevent overstimulation. Avoid highly rhythmic or melodic nature tracks, which may draw focused attention. Instead, favor diffuse, evolving soundscapes that encourage passive listening. For those with tight schedules, micro-interventions work best when consistent. Just 3 to 5 minutes of nature audio before high-stress tasks, presentations, creative work, or conflict discussions can reduce pre-task anxiety and sharpen cognitive flexibility. A controlled lab study found that participants exposed to 5 minutes of nature sound before a demanding cognitive test performed 10% better and reported lower mental fatigue levels. Nature reconnection also aids sleep preparation. Evening sessions of gentle rain or forest dusk sounds help transition the nervous system from active to restorative modes. By avoiding sudden transient sounds and maintaining smooth spectral energy, these ambients support the brain's shift toward sleep architecture. This segment's ambient track is designed for versatility. It fits short breaks, focus sessions, and evening wind down. Notice how it starts with brighter, more active high frequencies, like early morning birdsong, then gradually shifts to deeper, more enveloping pads, mirroring the day's natural progression. This subtle evolution maintains listener engagement without demanding cognitive tracking. As you finish listening, take a few final breaths and imagine carrying this forest edge sound into your day, a mental sanctuary accessible wherever you are. Reflect on one small action you can take. Perhaps playing nature audio during your next pause, placing a plant on your desk, or swapping one indoor coffee break for a few minutes in the nearest green space. Nature Reconnect isn't about escape. It's about recalibration, remembering that our brains and bodies are wired for patterned, living landscapes. By integrating audio micro-interventions and real-world green moments, you rebuild a sensory equilibrium that enhances focus, reduces stress, and improves overall well-being. Let this soundscape be your daily invitation back to the rhythms of the natural world. Chronotype Evening. Embracing your natural night owl. Rhythm: find a comfortable position. Sit upright with feet flat on the floor or recline with support behind your head and back. Let your shoulders drop, soften your gaze, and settle into a calm inhale-exhale rhythm. This segment explores chronotypes, our innate preference for morning or evening activity, and why understanding your night owl tendencies can unlock better focus. Health and well-being. Every person carries a chronotype, a biological predisposition toward waking early or staying up late. While larks thrive at dawn, owls hit their stride after sunset. Chronotype depends on genetic factors affecting the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, the brain's master clock. Light exposure, age, and social schedules further shape how our internal timing plays out in daily life. For many night owls, standard 9-to-5 schedules create a mismatch between biology and social demands. A landmark study tracking over 6,000 workers across various industries found that evening chronotypes had 2.3 times higher odds of reporting poor workability compared to morning types. They also experienced about 5.4% greater productivity loss. Simple tasks took longer, focus waned, and the mental energy to tackle challenges dipped early in the day. This productivity gap mirrors circadian misalignment. When you're asked to perform peak tasks at your biological low point, performance inevitably suffers. Another key finding comes from shift worker research. Rotating schedules worsen misalignment for night owls. Instead of flexing to a night shift advantage, evening types on rotating shifts show more attention lapses and inconsistent sleep patterns than morning types. Their internal clocks struggle to stabilize, leading to chronic fatigue and increased error rates. In contrast, stable schedules aligned with your chronotype, early for larks, late for owls, promote sustained alertness, better mood, and lower accident risk. Understanding your chronotype offers practical solutions. First, self-assess your preference using validated questionnaires like the Morningness-Eveningness Questionnaire, MEQ. If you consistently feel most awake between 8 p.m. and midnight and struggle with early alarms, you likely lean toward the evening type. Next, synchronize your environment with your clock. For evening types forced into early schedules, strategic bright light exposure can help shift your phase earlier. A 2025 field study showed that night owls who spent 30 minutes in 10,000 lux bright light within the first hour of waking advanced their circadian phase by an average of 45 minutes over 2 weeks. Combine that with dimmer evenings. Use warm, low-intensity lighting after 7 p.m. and reduce screen brightness to reinforce the shift. If your work allows flexibility, consider negotiating adjusted hours. Many companies now offer core hours scheduling, where employees work around set team meetings but choose start and end times within broader windows. As an evening type, you might start at 10 a.m. and finish at 6 p.m., aligning peak cognitive hours with job demands. Studies show that flexible scheduling reduces burnout and boosts job satisfaction when aligned with chronotype. For those unable to shift hours, use targeted power periods. Reserve easier, lower stakes tasks for early morning, responding to routine emails or administrative work, and schedule demanding creative or analytical tasks later in the afternoon or early evening when your energy peaks. That way, you work with your biology rather than against it. Nutrition timing also plays a role. Research indicates that eating meals aligned with circadian cues improves metabolism. Evening types who eat dinner later and breakfast later mimic their internal schedule, reducing metabolic stress compared to rigid early meal patterns. If you enjoy evening workouts or creative sessions, plan meals accordingly to fuel those peak periods. Sleep hygiene remains foundational. Evening types often struggle with sleep onset if they remain exposed to late-night light. Implement a consistent wind-down routine. Dim lights, limit screen exposure, and engage in relaxing activities like reading or light stretching. Even 5 minutes of mindfulness or deep breathing before bed helps ease the transition. Use earplugs or nature-inspired masking audio to buffer sudden nighttime noises that can fragment sleep. Let's consider a real-world example. A software developer identified as a strong evening chronotype found mornings excruciating. By shifting her work hours from 9 to 5 to 11-7 and using a bright light lamp at 11 a.m., she advanced her circadian phase by 30 minutes within 10 days and reported 20% higher coding productivity in the afternoon. She also adopted a nighttime ambient with gentle pads and deep sine tones to signal wind down, dramatically improving sleep onset. After 1 month, she described feeling more aligned, less groggy, and creatively sharper during her optimal window. Now, as you listen to this nocturnal-inspired audio, rich low-frequency bass, sine drone undercurrents, and very subtle clock-like pulses, imagine a soundscape tailored to your peak hours. Let the deeper tonal colors and slower rhythmic changes resonate with your evening energy. Notice how the lack of bright, high-frequency spikes helps your nervous system stay at ease rather than jumpy. Integrate chronotype alignment systematically. Assess. Take an MEQ or similar chronotype survey. Shift light. Use bright light in the morning and dim light at night to nudge timing. Flex schedule. If possible, negotiate start times that match your peak alertness. Task timing. Assign routine tasks to biological low points and creative tasks to high points. Meal timing. Adjust breakfast, lunch, and dinner to support your internal clock. Wind down ritual. Create an evening routine with dim lights, minimal screens, and calming audio. Over time, small adjustments compound. Resist the ingrained early is better bias and honor your natural rhythm. Whether you remain an evening type or gradually shift earlier, aligning your lifestyle with chronotype reduces stress, improves focus, and enhances overall well-being. As this segment concludes, take a final breath. Imagine your ideal work rhythm unfolding naturally. Tasks launched at the right energy peak, rest windows honored, and creative flow freed from circadian conflict. By embracing your inner night owl, you unlock a personalized path to productivity, health, and harmony. Light pollution shield, protecting your body clock from nighttime. Glow, make yourself comfortable in a dimly lit space. Sit with your back supported, shoulders relaxed, and hands resting loosely in your lap. Close your eyes if you like, and take a deep breath in. Fill your lungs fully, then exhale slowly, releasing any tension. In this segment, we'll explore light pollution, the pervasive glow of urban nightscapes, and how simple adjustments can safeguard your circadian rhythm. Sleep quality and metabolic health. Modern cities never truly darken. Street lamps, neon signs, illuminated billboards, and interior lighting spill light skyward, creating a background glow that seeps through curtains and filters into our bedrooms. Studies measuring light pollution show that urban sky glow often reaches 1020 lux at ground level, enough to substantially suppress melatonin and shift circadian timing. In a pivotal 2025 study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, researchers fitted participants with light sensors and tracked both light exposure and sleep biomarkers over 6 months. They discovered that participants exposed to as little as 5 lux of outdoor light through bedroom windows experienced a 20-minute average delay in melatonin onset and a corresponding shift in sleep onset. Over weeks, this delay accumulated, leading to chronic sleep onset insomnia and daytime fatigue. Why does this small amount of light matter? Melatonin secretion typically begins when retinal ganglion cells signal darkness to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN. Even low-intensity light, particularly in the blue spectrum, can inhibit this signal. Without a robust melatonin rise, the cascade of nighttime processes, deep slow-wave sleep, growth hormone release, tissue repair, and memory consolidation becomes truncated and fragmented. Beyond sleep, suppressed melatonin has metabolic consequences. A multi-year cohort study found that individuals with consistently higher nighttime light exposure had a 25% greater incidence of metabolic syndrome, characterized by a cluster of conditions including high blood sugar, hypertension, and abnormal cholesterol levels. Melatonin interacts with insulin secretion and glucose tolerance, so disrupting its natural cycle can impair metabolic regulation over time. Fortunately, you can create a light pollution shield around your living environment with targeted strategies. First, block external light sources at their entry points. High-quality blackout curtains that prevent even small leaks are critical. Choose curtains rated for near-total light blockage. Look for multi-layered or thermal blackout styles that combine dense fabrics with reflective backings. Ensure the curtain extends beyond the window frame by several inches on each side and reaches to the floor to minimize edge leaks. Next, address internal light sources. Most LED and CFL bulbs emit a significant blue light component. Replace bedroom bulbs with low-color temperature warm LEDs, 2200K, 2700K after sunset. These bulbs emit less blue light and produce a softer amber glow that signals the brain that nighttime is near. For overhead lighting, install dimmers or use desk lamps directed toward walls to create indirect, lower-intensity illumination. Electronic devices pose a unique challenge. Even in standby mode, many emit small status LEDs. Cover unnecessary indicator lights with opaque tape or opt for electronics with dimmable or user-configurable LED brightness. In bedrooms, keep devices unplugged or stored outside the sleeping area if possible. For essential electronics like routers or smart speakers, position them behind furniture or in compartments that block direct sight lines. When using screens in the evening, leverage software filters or built-in night modes that shift displays to red or amber hues. Popular apps and operating systems offer schedules that automatically reduce blue light at sunset. While not a perfect solution, these filters can cut blue light output by 50–70%, significantly reducing melatonin suppression. For heavy evening users, blue blocking glasses provide additional filtration. Look for lenses that block at least 90% of short wavelength light. Architectural features can further enhance your light pollution shield. Consider installing external shutter systems or blinds with high IR reflective coatings. These reduce both visible and near-infrared light infiltration. A well-placed awning or exterior screen can block direct street lamp glare before it even reaches the window glass. Beyond physical measures, timing your light exposure is essential. Just as bright mornings anchor your rhythm, clear darkness anchors nighttime. Aim to achieve at least 1 full hour of near-total darkness, below 1 lux, before bedtime. This may mean adjusting evening errands or social schedules to be mindful of indoor lighting levels once you return home. Let's look at a case study. In a comparative trial, participants who implemented a full suite of light pollution controls, blackout curtains, warm bulbs, screen filters, and device light covers, saw a 45-minute earlier melatonin onset and a 30% increase in subjective sleep quality scores compared to controls. Actigraphy confirmed longer periods of deep slow-wave sleep, and daytime alertness improved significantly. As you listen to this ambient soundscape, minimal high-frequency energy, warm harmonic pads, and gentle low-end pulses, imagine yourself enveloped in protective darkness. The absence of sudden bright tones mirrors the visual environment you're creating, consistent, low intensity, and supportive of nighttime physiology. Use this audio as part of your evening wind-down, pairing it with dim lighting to signal the transition into rest. Practical checklist for your light pollution shield. Install blackout curtains rated for 95 to 99% blockage. Replace bedroom bulbs with 2200K to 700K LEDs and install dimmers. Cover or relocate. Indicator LEDs on electronic devices. Enable night modes on all screens and use blue blocking glasses if needed. Schedule a lights off hour, 60 minutes before bedtime with minimal illumination. Consider exterior screening or reflective awnings to block street lamp glow. These steps need not transform your home into complete dark void, just enough darkness at the right times to allow your master clock to work. Over weeks, you'll notice faster sleep onset, deeper slow-wave sleep, and more stable morning wake times. As this segment winds down, take a final deep breath. Visualize the layers of protection you build against stray light. Curtains, warm bulbs, filtered screens, all working together. Hear the soft hum of this audio bed as it lulls tension away. Let your body read the clear message that night has arrived, and prepare to rest in the natural darkness your ancestors once took for granted. Cognitive load relief. Giving your brain a break. Settle into a comfortable posture. Sit with your back supported, feet planted firmly on the floor, and hands resting gently in your lap. Close your eyes or soften your gaze, and take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Then exhale fully through your mouth. Let each breath guide your mind towards stillness. In this segment, we'll explore how the modern deluge of information and constant multitasking overloads our brains, and what you can do to create intentional relief. Every day, knowledge workers juggle endless streams of emails, messages, meetings, and alerts. Research in cognitive psychology quantifies this as cognitive load, the mental effort required to process and manage information. When cognitive load remains high, due to multitasking or rapid context switching, our working memory becomes taxed, decision-making slows, and mental fatigue sets in. Left unchecked, chronic cognitive overload contributes to burnout, reduced productivity, and stress-related health issues. A classical 2018 study measured real-time brain activation patterns using functional MRI, while participants performed tasks under varying information demands. The results showed that regions associated with attention and executive control lit up more intensely under high-load conditions, consuming metabolic resources that would otherwise support creative thinking and problem-solving. Participants reported higher perceived effort and greater errors when tasks required frequent attention shifts. In practical terms, our brains are not designed to hold more than about 4 chunks of information in working memory at once: letters, numbers, or discrete ideas. Yet today's digital environments relentlessly push us to track dozens of open tabs, unread messages, and shifting priorities. The result is a constant state of partial attention, never fully absorbed in one task.
加上大
but
脑管
never
道的守
fully
门员掏
relaxed.
蛋白反水，它们联
Intentional
合强行打
cognitive
断神
relief
经元之间
involves
的信号
creating
传输，
environments and
神经元之间
routines
失
that
去联
allow
络，
directed
久而久
attention,
之就会凋
are
零死亡，
focused,
而这带来的是记忆
resource-intensive
的灾难。
mode to rest and recover. Classic experiments in attention restoration theory demonstrate that environments offering soft fascination, natural scenes, simple patterns, low-demand stimuli, enable the brain's directed attention to replenish without active effort. While real nature breaks are ideal, there are practical, workplace-friendly micro-interventions you can apply within minutes. First, schedule structured thinking breaks every 60-90 minutes. Simply step away from screens and documents for 3 to 5 minutes. During this break, engage in a non-demanding sensory experience. Listen to a curated ambient track with gentle tones and minimal complexity. Practice slow, rhythmic breathing, or look out a window at a static or softly moving scene. Studies show that even brief exposure to a restorative soundscape reduces subjective mental fatigue and improves performance on subsequent focus tasks by 10-15%. Second, simplify your workspace. Visual clutter, piles of papers, multiple open tabs, scattered office supplies, increases cognitive load by forcing your attention to filter irrelevant stimuli. Research on office organization confirms that a minimalist desk reduces perceived workload and lowers self-reported stress. Aim for a clean desk at the end of each workday, storing or discarding items no longer in active use. During work sessions, keep only the materials relevant to your current task within sight. Third, embrace single tasking. Turn off non-essential notifications on your devices, close unused applications, and set specific focus windows of 25-50 minutes using techniques like Pomodoro, where you commit to one task at a time. In lab settings, participants who practiced single tasking demonstrated 20% faster task completion and reported less mental exhaustion. When you want to check messages or switch tasks, schedule brief, dedicated interludes rather than interrupting ongoing focus. Fourth, use sensory segmentation. Create auditory and visual cues that signal different modes: work, break, and wind down. For example, play a particular ambient track for deep focus, steady pads with soft, filtered noise and slow melodic progressions, and a different, more open track for breaks, with organic textures evoking gentle waves or rustling leaves. Your brain learns to associate each soundscape with a cognitive mode, making transitions smoother and less effortful. Let's illustrate with a real-world example. A digital marketing analyst reported chronic end-of-day burnout until she instituted micro-breaks with restorative soundscapes. Every hour, she paused for 3 minutes to listen to a dedicated ambient break track, closed her eyes, and practiced gentle belly breathing. Within 2 weeks, she noticed 30% fewer errors in her reports, a 25% reduction in stress on her daily self-ratings, and a clearer sense of mental separation between work sessions. Fifth, incorporate movement. Short bursts of physical activity, a brief stretch, a short walk, or simple desk exercises offer kinesthetic relief that complements sensory breaks. Physiology studies show that movement increases cerebral blood flow, supporting neuronal recovery and enhancing mood. Even 60 seconds of gentle stretching can produce measurable cognitive benefits and reduce tension accumulated from prolonged sitting. Finally, practice reflection and planning. Before diving into work each morning, spend 3 to 5 minutes writing a simple to-do list prioritized by importance. At the end of the day, reflect on what went well and what can improve tomorrow. These reflective rituals offload mental clutter, freeing working memory from holding loose tasks, and provide closure that reduces cognitive carryover into non-work hours. Now, as you listen to this ambient track, soft harmonic layers, gentle pulses, minimal high-frequency content, allow the sound to be your guide. Let the subtle shifts in tone and rhythm act as a sensory anchor, gently pulling your mind away from fragmented thoughts and into a unified, restful space. Use this track during your next scheduled micro break or as background while you organize your workspace. To recap, reducing cognitive load involves scheduled thinking breaks with restorative audio, micro interventions, workspace simplification to minimize visual clutter, single tasking and notification management for focused work periods, sensory segmentation with distinct soundscapes for different modes. Brief movement interludes to boost blood flow and mental agility. Reflective planning rituals to offload tasks from working memory. By integrating these strategies, you create a mental ecosystem that honors your brain's natural limits and promotes sustainable focus. Over days and weeks, diminished mental fatigue translates into clearer thinking, enhanced creativity, and a healthier work-life balance. As this segment concludes, take a final deep breath. Notice how your body responds to stillness and calm. Carry this sense of gentle clarity into your next work session, and remember, giving your brain regular breaks isn't indulgent. It's essential for peak performance and well-being. Urban stress buffer, finding calm in the concrete jungle. Settle into a relaxed posture. Sit upright with feet flat on the floor or recline in a supportive chair. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and breathe deeply. Inhale slowly through the nose, hold briefly, then exhale smoothly through the mouth. Allow your mind to arrive fully in this moment. Today, we explore urban stress, the cumulative mental and physiological burden of city living, and how simple sonic strategies can create an oasis of calm amid the concrete jungle. City environments offer unparalleled opportunities, career growth, cultural experiences, and social connectivity. Yet they also bombard us with relentless sensory inputs: traffic noise, crowded sidewalks, flashing lights, sirens, construction clatter, and the hum of crowds. This perpetual stimulation keeps our nervous system in a heightened state of vigilance. Elevated cortisol, increased heart rate, and elevated blood pressure become chronic companions in many urban dwellers, contributing to stress-related health issues over time. Environmental psychology research quantifies urban stress. In a 2023 study measuring cortisol levels in subway commuters, peak cortisol concentrations were 15 to 25% higher on crowded trains compared to participants in less crowded conditions. Another field experiment found that simply walking for 5 minutes in a busy traffic intersection raised heart rates by an average of 10 beats per minute and increased self-reported stress scores by nearly 30% compared to a calm suburban walkway over the same distance. Yet, even brief exposures to restorative stimuli can disrupt this stress cycle. The concept of an urban oasis involves creating small pockets of calm, moments where your senses encounter low-threat, gently engaging environments that allow physiological recovery. Parks, green rooftops, and indoor gardens are one solution, but not everyone has daily access. Auditory micro-interventions, deliberate listening sessions to specific ambient soundscapes, offer a portable, scalable approach. A landmark study in PLOS One demonstrated that participants exposed to recorded nature ambiances, birdsong, rustling leaves, distant water flow, for just 7 minutes experienced a 20% drop in salivary cortisol and reported immediate mood improvements. Similarly, research on minimalist urban soundscapes, gentle filtered city hum without distinct events, showed significant heart rate variability gains, indicating a shift toward parasympathetic rest and digest activation. The key elements of an effective urban stress buffer audio include low novelty. Avoid sudden events or rhythms that demand attention. Steady, predictable textures allow the mind to rest. Spectral balance. Mid-range frequencies mask harsh urban noise while retaining a sense of presence, preventing auditory isolation. Spatial diffusion. Soft stereo panning or reverb evokes open spaces rather than narrow. Enclosed rooms. Gentle movement. Slow modulations in volume or filter settings. Suggest natural flow without dynamic peaks. This track weaves a filtered subpad. Beneath soft, diegetic hum, imagine distant traffic muffled by foliage, combined with higher frequency, wind-inspired textures. The result is a sonic cushion you can deploy anywhere, at your desk, during a break, or implementing an urban stress buffer follows 3 steps. Select your oasis. Choose an ambient track designed to mask intrusive frequencies, generally between 500 and 2000 Hz, while adding a comfortable low-end rumble. Pink or city-shape noise variants often excel. Establish consistency. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes twice daily, midday and late afternoon, to press play, close your eyes, and simply listen. Track heart rate if possible to observe objective change. Combine with micro-movement. Pair listening with gentle neck rolls, shoulder stretches, or a brief mindful walk, amplifying parasympathetic activation. Consider the case of a graphic designer working in a high-traffic neighborhood studio. She reported constant low-grade tension from passing sirens and delivery trucks. By integrating 3 daily 5-minute urban oasis breaks, using nature-inspired city ambience and seated stretching, she reduced her average afternoon stress score by 35% over 4 weeks and reported improved creative flow during work blocks. Beyond individual practice, workplace design can incorporate constant, unobtrusive ambient layers in communal areas. Evidence from a 2024 facility study revealed that offices playing low-level, pseudo-random ambient at 45 dB in break rooms achieved a 22% reduction in overall employee stress markers, compared to offices playing no ambient sound. If you're a commuter, buffer the journey by listening to your curated urban stress buffer through noise. Isolating earbuds. During heavy traffic or crowded platforms, these in-ear sessions, lasting as little as 3 minutes, can blunt the physiological jump from fight-flight activation. Timing is crucial. Schedule buffer sessions before high-stress events, presentation run-throughs, executive meetings, or immediately after unexpected stressors. Consistent use trains the autonomic system to associate specific audio cues with relaxation, making the recovery response more rapid over time. Long-term benefits extend beyond stress relief. Studies link regular restorative audio exposure with improved sleep onset, reduced insomnia symptoms, and lower risk of anxiety disorders. 1 year into a citywide program offering public quiet zones paired with ambient soundscapes in transit hubs, community-level surveys indicated a 12% drop in reported urban noise annoyance and a 7% increase in overall well-being scores. As you continue listening to this urban stress buffer, feel the tension slip from your shoulders. Allow each sound layer to coalesce into a sonic safety net. Inhale calm, exhale tension. Imagine cities as complex machines, and these audio interludes as regular maintenance stops that keep systems running smoothly. To integrate this practice, bookmark your buffer, save your preferred track on phone or desktop for easy access. Set gentle reminders. Use a low-volume notification to cue your buffer breaks. Monitor progress, journal daily stress and focus levels, noting the correlation with buffer sessions. Advocate for shared space audio. Propose ambient installations in office lounges or co-working areas. Even in the busiest urban environments, Small pockets of calm are within reach. Consistent, targeted auditory breaks allow your nervous system to downshift, restoring focus, creativity, and resilience. Let this segment's acoustic design point the way to a more balanced urban existence, proving that tranquility need not be remote, but accessible anytime you choose to press play. Screen time recovery, from digital intensity to analog ease. Find a comfortable seated position with your back supported and your feet resting firmly on the floor. Soften your gaze or close your eyes and breathe slowly. Inhale through the nose for a count of 4, then exhale through the mouth for 6. Let the rhythm of your breath guide you into this space. Today, we explore how pervasive screen use, our digital lifeline, can overtax attention and disrupt rest, and how intentional analog recovery practices can reset your sensory system. Screens are central to modern work and leisure. They connect us to knowledge, colleagues, and entertainment. But even when used for relaxation, screens engage visual and cognitive systems in ways our brains interpret as active stimulation. High contrast, rapid scene changes, text scrolling, and notifications all demand focused attention. Over hours, this digital intensity leads to what neuroscientists call sensory fatigue, mental exhaustion, reduced visual comfort, and a lingering state of arousal that makes genuine rest elusive. A 2022 meta-analysis in the Journal of Sleep Research reviewed dozens of studies on pre-bedtime device use. It found that participants who used screens within 2 hours of bedtime took on average 23 minutes longer to fall asleep and experienced 20% more awakenings overnight than those who abstained. Even blue light filtering settings only partially mitigated these effects. The interactive, attention-grabbing nature of screens remained a barrier to true wind-down. Recovery begins by creating intentional breaks from digital stimulation and replacing it with low-demand, analog sensory experiences. Analog here refers not necessarily to old technology, but to sensory inputs that do not require rapid attention shifts or high visual contrast. Think of soft, continuous textures, the hum of an analog tape machine, gentle vinyl crackle, or low-fidelity ambient pads that evoke tactile warmth. Implementing screen time recovery can follow 3 steps. Define a digital cutoff. Choose a nightly time, ideally 2 hours before planned bedtime, to end active screen use. This digital sabbatical marks a transition from high-intensity input to restorative calm. Select an analog recovery track. Curate a playlist of ambient audio designed to ease sensory fatigue. Look for recordings with minimal rhythmic variation, warm harmonic content, and subtle noise textures reminiscent of old-school playback devices. Engage in receptive rest. During your recovery period, listen to these tracks at a low, comfortable volume. Close your eyes or allow your gaze to soften. Focus on breath or gentle movement, like slow stretching or light foam rolling, while the sound carries you away from digital mental loops. A practical analogy: consider your sensory system as a camera sensor. Continuous bright, high-contrast input causes it to overheat and produce noise. Turning off the camera and switching to soft, uniform lighting allows the sensor to cool and recalibrate. Similarly, replacing sharp digital images with gentle analog sounds resets your mental filters. Let's examine a real-life example. A content editor working late into the evening with multiple browser tabs and notifications found herself unable to unwind before bed. She established a 7 p.m. screen cutoff and replaced her usual end-of-day scrolling with 30 minutes of analog-style ambient audio. Soft tape hiss, distant vinyl crackle, and warm pad layers. Within 3 nights, she reported falling asleep 15 minutes faster and waking less during the night. Her subjective sleep quality improved by 25%, and she felt less wired in the evenings. Key acoustic features for effective analog recovery tracks include low spectral dynamics. Avoid sudden volume spikes or rhythmic beats. Warm tonal balance. Emphasize low to mid-frequency pads that feel enveloping rather than piercing. Harmonic subtlety. Use slowly evolving chords with minimal harmonic progression to prevent cognitive tracking. Textural noise. Add very subtle, broadband noise like tape hiss or soft vinyl crackle to mask other distractions and create a unified sonic atmosphere. Beyond audio, complement analog recovery with non-digital sensory activities. Journaling in a paper notebook, sipping herbal tea, reading a physical book under soft, warm lighting, or practicing gentle yoga all reinforce the shift from active to receptive modes. The key is to engage senses through simple, low-intensity inputs that require no rapid decision-making or split-second attention. The benefits extend beyond sleep. Controlled trials show that post-work analog recovery sessions reduce evening heart rate and blood pressure, lower cortisol levels, and improve next-day focus. In one study, participants who practiced a 30-minute analog recovery routine reported a 20% increase in subjective afternoon concentration and creativity compared to those who continued screen-based leisure. To integrate analog recovery into your routine, choose a cutoff time, ideally 90-120 minutes before intended sleep onset. Prepare your environment. Dim overhead lights, switch screens to night mode, and plug away devices out of sight. Launch your recovery track. Keep volume low and pair it with paper journaling or simple stretching. Maintain consistency. Practice nightly to condition your brain to expect analog recovery as part of the wind-down ritual. Track progress. Note changes in sleep onset time, nighttime awakenings, and morning freshness over weeks. As you listen to this ambient track, warm, unhurried pads and comforting low-frequency rumble, allow each harmonic layer to guide your breath into a slower, deeper pattern. Let the subtle noise textures envelop you like a gentle blanket, absorbing mental chatter and ushering you into receptivity. Over time, analog recovery becomes a reliable cue for the brain's shift into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. It signals that the day's work is complete and true rest can begin. Your system no longer confuses pre-sleep activities with daytime alertness, and the transition into sleep grows smoother. In closing, recognize that digital tools shape modern life and productivity, but they need not dominate every waking moment. By carving out deliberate analog recovery periods, you harness simple but profound sensory shifts that honor your brain's natural needs. Let this segment sound guide you into deeper relaxation and carry the practice forward each evening. Your mind and body will thank you with clearer mornings and more restorative rest. Circadian repair. Restoring your body's natural rhythm, find a relaxed position. Sit or lie down with supportive cushioning, allowing your body to release tension. Close your eyes or soften your gaze, and take a slow, full breath in through your nose. Pause briefly at the top of the inhale, then exhale gently through the mouth. Let each cycle of breath guide you toward a state of calm focus. In this final segment, we explore circadian repair. Small, consistent interventions that realign your internal clock, boosting sleep quality, daytime energy, and overall well-being. Your circadian rhythm is a 24-hour cycle governed by the suprachiasmatic nucleus, SCN, in the hypothalamus. It orchestrates sleep-wake timing, hormone release, metabolism, and core body temperature. Modern life, irregular schedules, late-night screen use, shift work, and travel repeatedly disrupts this rhythm, leading to sleep disorders, mood disturbances, and metabolic issues. Fortunately, the circadian system remains plastic into adulthood. With targeted cues, you can repair misalignment and rebuild resilience. Key circadian repair strategies revolve around 4 primary Zeitgebers, or time cues: light exposure, meal timing, physical activity, and consistent sleep-wake schedules. Let's examine each in turn and explore practical applications. Morning light exposure. The most potent Zeitgeber is bright light at dawn. Ideally, within 30-60 minutes of waking, spend at least 20-30 minutes in natural daylight. Outdoor illuminance often exceeds 10,000 lux, orders of magnitude higher than indoor lighting. Such exposure sends a strong advanced signal to the SCN, solidifying your daytime phase. Field studies report that participants adopting this habit shifted their melatonin onset earlier by 45 to 60 minutes over 2 weeks, improving sleep onset and morning alertness. Evening light management after sunset. Reduce blue-rich light exposure to prevent phase delays. Use warm-hued bulbs, 2200K to 700K in living spaces. Engage in screen filters or night modes on electronic devices. And consider blue-blocking glasses if screen use is unavoidable. Aim for at least 1 hour of dim amber lighting before bedtime to allow endogenous melatonin to rise unimpeded. Clinical trials show that consistent evening light reduction advances sleep onset by roughly 30 minutes and enhances deep sleep quality. Meal timing. Scheduled feeding acts as a secondary Zeitgeber, especially for peripheral clocks in the liver, pancreas, and digestive tract. Avoid eating heavy meals close to bedtime. Ideally, finish dinner 3 hours before sleep to align metabolic processes with circadian biology. Research indicates that time-restricted feeding within an 8-10 hour window improves insulin sensitivity and weight management. For circadian repair, morning and midday meals should occur at consistent times to reinforce your daytime phase. Physical activity exercise provides non-photic signals that can shift circadian phase. Moderate to vigorous activity in the morning or early afternoon tends to advance your clock, while evening exercise may delay it depending on intensity and timing. Studies suggest that 30-45 minutes of morning exercise amplifies light-based phase advances, accelerating circadian realignment. Incorporate daily movement, brisk walks, cycling, or strength training into your morning routine. Consistent sleep-wake. Schedule. Consistency is crucial. Go to bed and wake up at the same times daily, even on weekends. Irregular sleep schedules, including social jet lag, large variances between weekday and weekend sleep, are linked to increased obesity risk, impaired glucose tolerance, and mood disorders. Maintaining a stable schedule reinforces both central and peripheral clocks, facilitating more robust rhythm coherence. Let's illustrate a full circadian repair routine. 30 a.m. Wake up, open curtains immediately, and spend 20 minutes walking or having coffee by a bright window. A.m. Eat a balanced breakfast, protein, healthy fats, and whole grains. Midday, brief outdoor break or lunchtime walk to reinforce midday light exposure. Throughout day, schedule moderate exercise between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., consistent meal times at 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. 7 p.m., dim household lights, switch devices to warm night mode, and engage in relaxing low-light activities. Per p.m., finish dinner. Begin screen-free wind-down with reflective journaling or reading a physical book under low light. Touch p.m. Lights out. Maintain bedroom at 18 to 20 degrees C for optimal deep sleep conditions. Scientific evidence supports this structured approach. A controlled 2023 trial compared participants following a circadian hygiene protocol, defined light, meal, and activity schedules to a control group. After 4 weeks, the protocol group showed a 1-hour earlier melatonin onset, 20-minute faster sleep latency, and improved cognitive performance in morning tasks. They also reported better mood stability and reduced daytime sleepiness. Combining light, feeding, and exercise cues create synergistic effects. Phase advances from morning light are bolstered by early exercise. Evening light reduction complements fasting windows, and a stable sleep-wake schedule unites central and peripheral rhythms. Over time, this alignment enhances sleep architecture, boosting slow-wave sleep and REM proportions, leading to deeper physical and cognitive recovery. As you listen to this ambient track, slowly undulating pads, heartbeat-like low pulses, and minimal high-frequency activity, imagine these sounds mirroring your internal repair cycle. Let the gradual crescendos represent morning activation, and the soft declines signal evening winding down. Breathe with the pattern. Inhale in alignment with rising tones. Exhale as they fall. For maintenance beyond repair, continue these habits. Keep your light, meal, and sleep schedules consistent, and periodically reassess and adjust based on seasonal changes or travel demands. Your circadian system thrives on predictability and clear cues. Ongoing attention ensures long-term benefits. As this session closes, take a final deep breath, feeling the coordinated flow of cues coming together: light, food, movement, and rest. Embrace the knowledge that your body's ancient timing system can be gently guided back into harmony with your modern life. May your days feel brighter, your nights more restorative, and your internal rhythm more resilient.